Imagine a place where your name is taken away and replaced by a number tattooed on your arm. Imagine your clothes, your hair, and your history being stripped from you until you are nothing but a shivering body in a thin rag, standing in the freezing mud of a concentration camp. You have lost your family, your home, and your dignity in a world of barbed wire and ash. What is left? Is there anything that a tyrant, a guard, or a tragedy cannot take away from you? This was the question faced by Viktor Frankl, a Jewish psychiatrist from Vienna who found himself in the hell of Auschwitz and Dachau. Most people in his position saw only a dead end. They saw a world that had become a nightmare. But Frankl, even as he suffered through starvation and abuse, became an observer of the human soul. He noticed a strange pattern. Those who survived weren't necessarily the strongest or the healthiest. They were the ones who had a reason to live. They were the ones who realized that while they were prisoners in the body, they were still masters of their own mind. Frankl discovered what he called the last of the human freedoms. He wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." This is the core of logotherapy, a revolutionary approach to healing that argues our primary drive is not pleasure or power, but the search for meaning. Think about the prisons we inhabit in our modern lives. Perhaps you feel trapped by a job that drains your spirit, or you are held captive by an old trauma or a paralyzing fear of the future. We often feel like victims of our environment. We wait for the guards of our lives, the economy, our bosses, our partners, to change so that we can be happy. But Frankl's legacy teaches us that we have a hidden agency. Between the stimulus of the world and our response to it, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. In the camp, Frankl stayed alive by focusing on a purpose. He imagined himself standing in a warm, brightly lit lecture hall after the war, telling a crowd about the psychology of the concentration camp. He used his suffering as a teacher. He also found meaning in the love he felt for his wife, even though he didn't know if she was still alive. He realized that love is the ultimate and highest goal to which man can aspire. By anchoring his soul in something beyond the barbed wire, he became untouchable. Why is this so vital for us today? Because we live in a world that tries to convince us that we are just biological machines, or victims of our genes and our past. Frankl proves that we are more than that. He shows that suffering is not a mistake. It is an opportunity for a man to find his deepest resilience. He famously said, "He who has a why to live for can bear almost any how." When you find your why, whether it is a person to love, a work to complete, or a virtue to uphold, how of your struggle becomes secondary healing. In Frankl's view, is not the absence of pain. It is the discovery of meaning within the pain. If you are going through a dark night right now, do not ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, ask, "What is this situation demanding of me? What meaning can I create from this?" This shift in perspective is the ultimate act of control. It turns a victim into a hero. Frankl survived the camps, but he lost almost everyone he loved. When he returned to Vienna, he didn't sink into bitterness. He spent the rest of his life helping others find their meaning. He taught us that the world is not a puzzle to be solved, but a task to be fulfilled. He proved that even in a place designed to destroy the human spirit, that spirit can find a way to shine. Your freedom is not something that is given to you by a government or a bank account. It is something you possess within you right now, no matter how stuck you feel, no matter how much has been taken from you. You still have the power to choose your attitude. You can choose to be kind when others are cruel. You can choose to be brave when you are afraid. You can choose to find meaning in the midst of chaos. As you move forward, remember the man in the thin rag who found freedom in Auschwitz. Build your inner citadel, find your why, and never forget that the last human freedom, the power to choose your way, is a flame that no wind can blow out. You are not a victim of your life. You are the meaning maker of your soul.